Hong Kong has a long history of police and gangster films, rich subject matter, but there are very few films about eavesdropping. As soon as he changed to the gangster movie, he stimulated wonderful drag racing, shootout footage, which too, a literary film style that depicts the inner heart of a character. Some people say that this is a movie that can compare to The Sword without Kendo. In 2009, Eavesdropping was released. It has achieved word of mouth and a double harvest at the box office. Business surveys are more skeptical. Fenghua International is suspected of insider trading and stock promotion, so he sent Junjie of the intelligence organization team infiltrate Fenghua International building to install monitoring equipment. I didn't expect the work to be half done. Shareholder Lau Yaming suddenly returned to the company. I almost gave the three of them a dream to catch a turtle. Fortunately, Lau Yang is witty. He posed as a building security guard, quickly drove away colleagues who came to support, and successfully dispelled Lau Yaming's suspicion. Three successfully completed the task and returned to the monitoring location. Next is the portrayal. The first part of the protagonist's character. Lau Yang was dissatisfied with Patriarch Fang Zhongshan's smoking ban order. Fight him in person. Azu quickly gave him a round. Who knows, Lau Yang actually walked out of the office in a fit of anger. Middle-aged people are still just employees. Hopeless Lau Yang became cynical. Unlike him, Azu is obviously a colleague. Leader's favorite roles. Young, he has a great future in the police force. At this moment, Brother Jun suddenly called Lau Yang and Azu to the rooftop. It turns out that Lau Yang was installing the equipment. Sneak to Colby lighter. But don't underestimate this brand. The sale of this lighter. Price may be around 10,000 yuan. Brother Jun is worried that he will go astray. At this time, Azuo came out again to smooth things out. Who knows, Lau Yang found a bug in the lighter. Here, Brother Jun didn't blame Lau Yang anymore. Here, focused on explaining the family situation of Lau Yang and Azu. Lau Yang's son is seriously ill. He earns 20,000 yuan a month. It's simply not enough to afford medical bills. Spider Pig was poor. Most unbearable. Azu has a great his girlfriend's father is also a well-known entrepreneur in Hong Kong. Seems to be limitless. But his future father-in-law is not optimistic about him. Even if the police commissioner, monthly salary is only 180,000, and the head of security at my father-in-law's company, 3 or 100,000 a month. Azu's career and ideals. He was systematically devalued as worthless. This is not only, it's questioning one's financial ability. It is also a question of the value of his life. For any man, it's a disgrace. Back to the movies. Then my colleagues in the office found out. Azu copied back 3 sets of numbers from Fenghua. Exactly corresponds to 3 stocks. Without exception. These stocks are all up more than 20%. At over 50 million. That is to say, they made it overnight, that will never make in their lifetimes. After Lau Yang learned it, the rice in my mouth is instantly not fragrant. Think of yourself waking up earlier than a chicken every day, sleep later than dogs, but only get a dead salary. Lau Yao instantly turned into a jet warrior. Then the female colleague in the office found out. Brother Jun disguised himself as a deliveryman, infiltrated Phoenix International again. Azu explained that he was there to check the listening equipment. Actually, he is going to return the lighter that Lau Yangshun left. Here's a little detail. The lighters are all returned. Where did the one in Lau Yang's hand come from? Personal guess. It is very likely that Azu bought it for him. He's not having a good time. But Azu doesn't have to support his family economically. It will indeed be much richer than Lau Liang. Do people still use it? Lighter overheard a colleague's affair. A warrior in the office. He actually got together with the section chief's wife. Just as the two were chatting about this gossip, Brother Jun scolded them righteously. But he's not doing it out of justice. All because I did the same thing. Brother Jun and his colleague Lau Fang's wife Wanner walked together, but it wasn't easy for him. Brother Jun and Lau Fang looked up and saw each other. And the old man also regarded him as a close friend. Whenever you encounter an emotional entanglement with Wanner, I will first ask Brother Chun's opinion. Brother Jun endured Wanner and his brother's connection. On the one hand, I can't see the light in front of my brothers. In fact, it was Brother Jun and Wanner who first met. Later, Lau Fang appeared. Let Brother Jun withdraw from the middle of the two. And it was Lau Fang and Wanner who broke down emotionally first. There was no moral fault in his intervention. But for many years, he has never dared to be strict with his brother. From here we can also see that Brother Jun is an emotional and indecisive person. There was a video that got people's attention. Lau Yaming and his secretary, one of the female colleagues discovered, a secretary's underwear alone costs more than 3,000 yuan. All her clothes and watches are brand names, and a junior secretary's salary is only over 7,000 yuan. His identity is definitely not simple. He guessed right. This woman is indeed not simple. He is the behind-the-scenes boss Ma Shihua sent to supervise Shining. But that's all for later. I'll take back the three brothers. As the wedding day approaches, Azu's father-in-law also began to gradually pressure him, not only to decide everything about his new home, also asked him to resign as soon as possible. The other side, Lau Yang learned that his son's illness would recover soon. He's in a good mood. But when the doctor came up with his test results, it made Lau Yang's heart break again. Turns out he had liver cancer. Although life is full of tragedies, but the work still has to go on. This day, there are only two people left in Tianjin, Lau Yang and Azu. They suddenly overheard an incredible conversation. Luo Yaming informed the secretary. The company's shares will 200 million from 20 cents tomorrow. Raised to a piece too. Just shoot, before the end of the afternoon, sure to make a fortune. Now desire is like a bottomless black hole. It is devouring the two. Lau Yang, who is in a hurry to use money. Cowardly Azu deleted the content of the conversation. Confidential Azu. And he added some really cool stuff to the conversation. After the female colleague who returned to the office saw it, immediately deleted the last two sentences. I didn't expect this to be in the arms of Azu. Afterwards, as long as the leader asks about it, you can. Lots are thrown at the female colleagues. But these tricksters, I can't hide it from Brother June, who knows them well. The next morning, the two just showed up in bursts. I was caught by Brother June. Here again reflects the indecision of Brother June. First he didn't want to listen to the two brothers explain, because he knew that if he tells a lie, I'm going to tell countless lies later. But the words of the two brothers, and he was torn again. Lau Yang has liver cancer. Less than a year to live. He wants to leave a sum of money for his wife and children before he dies. And Azu, who was eager to prove himself to his father-in-law, was even more ruthless. Borrowed 5 million loan sharks directly, and has bought shares in Phoenix. There is no turning back. Facing brotherhood, Brother June chose to compromise again. Stock market opening. Phoenix's stock skyrocketed. When it reaches 70 cents. Lau Yang suggested taking action, but Azu wanted to wait a little longer. Because of this shot, each of them, it can only be divided into a few million. It is not difficult to see from his words. Azu wants to divide the money he earns equally between the two. He is also a focused person. At the critical moment, Brother June came out and called for a stop. One cannot be too greedy. But Azu just picked up the phone. Crazy stocks are of abnormal trading. Suspended. The words stop receiving on the screen are like thunder. Covered on the fourth of the three. That 200,000 the life-saving money for Lau Yang's son. It's Friday. Closed on Saturday and Sunday. Wait until Monday for the stock to resume trading. Crazy stocks are likely to be influenced by the investigation by the submission plummeted. And what's even scarier is, there may even be a wine stop in the middle. Feng Hua stock. In this case, Azu and Lau Yang will be doomed. At this time, Azu first expressed his position. He stopped all responsibility, and said that Lau Yang's 200,000. He will also return it to Lau Yang a lot. The wife asked him only confess. The wife stormed the door in anger, and said that if the money could not be recovered, Lau Yang will no longer have to worry about their mother and son in the future. This paragraph will be the helplessness and sadness of middle age. The most incisive performance. Especially Louis Ku. Details of chasing out the pants before they can be worn. At this moment, the pants are like an anklet. Tie the old sheep firmly and never break free. He couldn't help but shed tears. I have liver cancer. Who will care about him? If people are unlucky, you have to stuff your teeth even if you drink cold water. The family crisis here has not been resolved yet. The business investigation brother over there came over to ask questions. They spent a lot of time and energy to monitor Feng Hua International. Unexpected but found nothing. Good thing before, Azu induces female colleagues to delete transcripts of conversations. This is the past. Leader just left. The two shareholders of China International sat together to prevent being monitored. The two also turned up the music. At this moment, Lau Yang passed the lighter he stole before. I heard what they were talking about. Original. Feng Hua International has a big boss behind the scenes named Ma Shihua. This time, Feng Hua's share price has risen. Leak of the news made Ma Shihua very dissatisfied. If the stock is reopened, Luo Yaoming first sold his stock. That's the equivalent of selling someone else. Get rid of Luo Yaoming. Life is at stake. Brother June realized they couldn't bury it anymore. But Azu and Lau Yang stopped him. They stole the lighter before and didn't report it. I didn't report the news as soon as possible just now. What's even scarier is that they also bought shares in Phoenix. If you confess now, I have no intention of putting myself in jail. Justice, heart. Let June be in a dilemma again. In the end he chose a compromise. Do not report to the boss. But it's up to the three of them to save Lau Yaming. 3 people rushed to the crime scene. The killer is shipped on time. And everything was great. Just when Brother June breathed a sigh of relief, he just took off his hood. Discover secretary. He was shivering in the corner, looking at himself. After stunning him, the 3 will secret. Lau Yaming tied up in Azu's new villa, ready to wait until the stock market opens before releasing them. Stocks resumed trading on Monday as scheduled. Just as Azu was about to sell the stock price finally soared to 2.3 yuan apiece. The economic crisis has finally been lifted. The 3 also released the killer Mi-kun as promised. Lau Yan excitedly called his wife. Tell the joy of victory. And Brother June also mustered up the courage to confess to Wanner. After going through so much, he seems to understand the meaning of life. At this moment, he only wants to spend the rest of his life with Wanner. But the good times don't last long. Shares of Fenghua International rose sharply twice. The intelligence team didn't find even one suspicious clue. This led the investigation team to suspect an insider. Therefore, all listening devices were recovered for investigation. Once the investigation is launched, it's easy to find the footage they deleted, and the stock is still in Azu's own account. After discussing with the 3 people who bought it, they decided to divide the troops into 2 groups. It's up to Azu to wash away the money earned from stock trading. Lau Yang is responsible for replacing the surveillance footage of the police station. Cover Brother June to destroy evidence. With the combined efforts of the 3, crisis lifted again. They were leaving the station with the money. I didn't expect to be seen by the secretary that night. The plot also begins with the appearance of this woman. Violent reversal. A few people just hid the money. Azu suddenly said, before Lau Yang, remove the bug from that lighter. Coverage area is only 200 meters. This wiretap. The device was installed by Lau Yaming himself. Purpose is to get Majihua's criminal evidence to save his life. He has found the evidence. It's all hidden in 902 with eavesdropping devices. Wants to make Majihua's guilt public. Brother June also agreed with his idea, but Lau Yang did not agree with this mistake. Money in hand. Jobs are saved. They have no reason to take risks, even if Wanner comes back when they are political. So Azu and Lau Yang could only leave first. But Brother June found out. Someone is following Azu and Lau Yang. So I quickly called and informed them. But after the call was connected, the other party's voice could not be heard. Brother June immediately realized, your phone may have been tapped. So he plans to leave Wanner immediately. The other side, Azu, who received the call and felt something was wrong, called the old man immediately. Yang Ke is happily packing his luggage. Lau Yang didn't hear the phone ring at all. Here is the video of Majihua's speech, which back and forth with the encounter of the 3. Majihua is ostensibly a successful entrepreneur. Charity. Behind the scenes, but a criminal with shady deeds. One case at a time. Full of irony. Azu was taken away by Majihua's men. Lau Yang was hit by a large truck and killed. And Brother June, who just arrived at the parking lot, but was stopped by a familiar voice. It turns out that Lau Fang wanted to catch Wanner's lover. I've been squatting here for a long time. At this moment, Lau Fang feels that he has been insulted. Just as the 2 men confronted each other with guns, Wanner suddenly fell to the ground after being shot. Of course this gun wasn't fired by Lau Fang. It's a killer lurking in the distance. In the end, both Lau Fang and Wanner died under the gun. Brother June came to the hospital. I saw that Lau Yang's wife and children had died. Although Lau Yang saved his life, but his hands and feet were broken. He fell into despair like never before. The boss thinks there must be an inside story. Goes that again. Just tell a lie. I'm going to tell countless lies later. Brother June did not confess, but put the blame to death. Go to Lau Fang. He was determined to bring down Majihua. Brother June came to room 900 to a Fenghua building alone. I didn't expect to see Azu's body. It turned out that Majihua had already expected everything. Brother June was also captured by Majihua. Eventually he was taken to the wild by the killer. With a gunshot, Brother June also fell into the pre-dug grave. A year later, Majihua recited the Magma manuscript, while arranging to help drug dealers launder money. After everything is arranged, Majihua won the award for charity. We can notice that Azu's father-in-law also appeared at the scene. PPT on the screen at this time suddenly switched to Majihua. The video before the blackout. Police who were ambushing the frog also rushed into the scene. Brother June suddenly appeared behind Majihua. Arrest him with your own hands. It turned out that a year ago, he used the 15 million earned by the 3 to say he bought the killer. The killer moved the muzzle when he fired the gun. I fooled Majik Xiang. But Majik Xiang didn't plan to plead guilty just like that. He also plans to take legal control as before. Escape sanctions. En route. Ma Jixiang's car suddenly drove towards a bridge. He quickly stopped the driver. Unexpectedly, the driver was Lau Yan with a broken hand and foot. Ma Jixiang, the terrified expression and the tragic situation that Lau Yan could not hide. Piaxiang echoes. And there was a sense of sadness. Lau Yan drove down the broken bridge quickly. Maybe? This is for the who have lost hope of living. This is the best choice. In fact, this bridge also appears many times in the play. This is also a metaphor for the ending of the film. Well-known, most attractive aspects of Hong Kong cinema. It's not that the royal police smash criminal gangs. It's the hero who takes out the villain. The moment I saw Gu Tianel drive off the bridge, to know, this is still our favorite Hong Kong drama. Let's listen to Fen Junyi's success. Let the filming of the second part also be put on the agenda. In 2011, Eavesdropping 2 was released as scheduled. The film is still titled Gu Tianel. Liu Qingyun and Wu Yanzu are the protagonists. It tells a new story. The man who appeared on TV is Luo Mincheng. He is the man of the hour in Kusuk, Hong Kong. After the interview, he went back to his office. Suddenly received a few senators and a huge phone call. They let Luo Mincheng use insider trading, boost stock prices. And he also got word. A boss named Tongshu wants to trample. Here we can see from the video. Looks are on the is a leader-like figure. Luo Mincheng dare not neglect. Hurry up and drive to the meeting. It's just that what he doesn't know is, a man has long done everything he says and does. When he thought he got rid of the incense car reappeared behind him. He flips his tail 180 degrees at the intersection. Ditched the black incense car again. At this moment, he finally picked up Hong's call. Unexpectedly, it was knocked over by a pickup truck. At the scene of a car accident, the police discovered a military bug, so the counter-terrorism team intervened to investigate. Louis Koo is finally here. He plays counter-terrorism in the team leader Ho Chi-Kyung. Ching learned of the military bug in his car, receiving range within 1 kilometer. That is to say, if you want to spy on Luo Mincheng, you must follow him. But Luo Mincheng insisted that he was not being followed. Here is also a brief explanation of Luo Mincheng's background. In 2008, Luo Mincheng's stock owed the bank more than 70 million yuan. Then the stock market crashed. Instead, he made hundreds of millions. Ho Chi-Kyung said, he had no interest whatsoever in financial crime. I just want Luo Mincheng to cooperate. Find out who installed the military bug. Luo Mincheng, after consideration, decided to accept He Jixiang's protection. Let him install listening devices in the office. At this time, Luo Mincheng's wife also did popular science for him. Ho Chi-Kyung's wife. The son is a member of a major law firm. Lawyer, in 2008, I lost money because of stock speculation. Do not misappropriate the client's assets to repay debts. He Jixiang was finally arrested. This brought his relationship with his wife to a freezing point, and he didn't make it to the top of the police force. In fact, Ho Jixiang has been in the anti-arch team for many years, captured countless terrorists, but because of the non-disclosure agreement everybody remembers him for arresting his wife. Very ironic character. Ho Chi-Kyung observes in Luo Mincheng's office. Soon found the perfect place to listen. At this time, Wu Yanzu also officially appeared. He flew into Ho Chi-Kyung's communication channel. He got rid of the trap very quickly. His name is Chu. I usually live in a nursing home, caring for an elderly mother with dementia. From his conversation with his mother, we can learn that Azu's father's name is Brother Xian. I usually spend time with a person named Tongsong. Azu accompanied his mother back to the room. Immediately hacked into the police system. Dropped out all of He Jixiang's information. On the other hand, Ramasin came to a private club. People here. It's morning command. He was an insider trader. Luo Mincheng broke the news that he was being followed. According to the police investigation, the bug in his car. It has been installed for over a month. The oldest bookseller can't sit still for the first time. Loud scolding Luo Mincheng accidentally. First person in the county to calm down was Bald East Uncle. He analyzed that now that the police had discovered the eavesdropping device. That means it wasn't the police who installed the bug. It's either the police or world. The underworld is nothing more than seeking money. Money is the least valuable thing to them. At this time, Jianchu, who had been standing, received a call from the same book. After learning about the situation from Tongshu and Luo Mincheng, immediately sent someone back to Hong Kong to investigate. Luo Mincheng returned home. His wife advised him to run. They have made enough money. There's no need to stay any longer. Actually, the wife has made this request more than once. Why doesn't Luo Mincheng want to leave here? But the giant crocodiles behind him. How can you let him go? Helpless Luo Minsheng can only interrupt the wives with a fight. Word, Euro 7. Luo Minsheng is still an ordinary stockbroker. The company he is in charge of is called Lau. Electronics company was maliciously acquired by foreign investors. At this moment, a landowner's phone call saved his life. 1973 Hong Kong stock market crash. Many foreign companies maliciously acquire local companies. At this time, several young and dynamic entrepreneurs join forces. Victory in the confrontation with foreign capital? This is the earliest landlord meeting. At this time, several people tasted the sweetness, so they decided to continue to cooperate. It is ostensibly to protect the Hong Kong stock market. In fact, it is to make a lot of money for himself. This is a warrior slaying a dragon. The story of becoming a dragon. Uncle Xiang, the founder of the Landlord Association, watched the other members gradually degenerate. Can't bear it, so charities and nursing homes were established. It was Uncle Xiang who saved Lixin Electronics. Later, in a poker game, Luo Minsheng deliberately lost to Uncle Xiang for 120,000, and Uncle Xiang used the check as a token. He hopes that one day, when Luo Minsheng saw this check, can you repay his favor? The next morning, Luo Min received a courier. Courier is a mobile phone. There are recordings of Luo Minsheng and insider trading on it. Azu's voice came from the other end of the phone. He asked Luo Minsheng to do as he asked. Just finished delivery. The courier's Azu has been surrounded pillars of the same book. After Azu escaped on a motorcycle, passing by with He Jikyang. He Jikyang immediately turned around and chased after him. Finally saved Azu, who was about to fall from the bridge. Azu, who has just been rescued, immediately kidnapped He Jikyang, after telling him that the landlord will be related to the Chechen fund. He drove away in Ho Jikyang's car. Very soon, Ho Jikyang's car was found just outside his home. Except for Azu's blood in the car. There is also a glue tag that I don't know how to use. On the other side is Luo Min in the company. Sheng suddenly remembered the identity of Azu. Original, Azu is the son of Uncle Xiang who passed away that year. He had a hunch that it wasn't going to be easy. Now he finally made up his mind. Sell your stock and run away. Then He Jikyang suddenly arrived. He asked about the relationship between the Landlord Association and the Chariot God Foundation. From here we can also see that Ho Chi Kyung's investigation direction gradually deviate from its original intention. At night, Lu Min said that the landlord would block it. Turns out they already found out his plan to flee Hong Kong. Now the book has returned to Hong Kong. But here's what's interesting. He found the scene. Everyone is using the same brand of mobile phone. It turns out that these people were threatened by Azu. Book threw the phone number on the back of the phone. Got in touch with Azu. But when he heard only wanted 50 million shares, 749 stock hours, still ate it. This stock is only 50 cents a share. Only 20 million in total. But Azu said, stock was bought by his father. Although children's books at this time are also aware of, it's not that simple. But he still doesn't know Azu's true purpose. After the meeting, Luo Minsheng quickly found his wife. I didn't expect Azu to be waiting here long ago. He took out the check that Luo Minsheng had written to his father. Only then did Luo Minsheng understand his true purpose. It is also from this time, Luo Minsheng decided to find Azu. On the other hand, He Jikyang followed the glue sign to find the nursing home. It turns out that nursing homes are designed to prevent the elderly from getting lost. Everyone will be issued a glue card. There is a positioning function in the plastic cards, and this one in Ho Jikyang's hand. It's Azu's mother's glue tag. It's just that there's no positioning chip in it. When Ho Jikyang wants more information, but was rejected by the dean on the grounds that it was too late. Next morning, He Jikyang is here again. The nursing home unexpectedly received a call from Azu. It turns out he kidnapped his ex-wife. With, this is thanks to He Jikyang for helping him sell his 749 shares. Ticket. On the other hand, the books are already ready. He compromised with his on the one hand. On the other hand, send your men to track down Azu's cell phone signal. Dead drum 749 soared under the operation of Luo Minsheng. Finally, before the daily limit, killer captured Azu. This seems like a victory for children's books. Little did they know that it was Azu's trap again. Next is the head-to-head confrontation between the two. Tong Chu thought he could force him into submission by bumping into it. I didn't expect Azu to be ready long ago. He took the incriminating evidence of the book, all uploaded to a website. As long as Azu shows the recording, it will play automatically. Books for the first time. Cornered by a small, but he can only see criminal. So let Luo Minsheng continue to sweep the goods. Here we can also see, the book is really going to give the money to Azu. As for whether he will move later, we don't care for now. It is true that Azu has won here. But when the book heard about the dumping, Most often when a police officer instantly changed my mind. His deal with the zoo. It is based on the premise that the police do not intervene. How the police have intervened. Even if a zoo doesn't reveal the evidence, the police will find him sooner or later. He tore his face in an instant. We also learned it from the conversation that followed. Landlord would have an accident. It was Uncle Xiang, a zoo's father, who came out to fight the thunder. Before Uncle Xiang went to prison, the evidence that the landlord would commit a crime has long been burned. He wants to give his former brother a chance. I didn't expect to leave the country together. Send someone to kill Uncle Xiang in prison. This also confirms what Azu has always guessed. Books are the killers of fathers. And the rest of you heard the truth. There was panic. Uncle Tong wants to know when Azu will destroy the evidence. But Azu actually said he has no intention of destroying the evidence at all. Uncle Tong finally broke out. He pulled out his gun and killed Azu. Who am I hitting today? At this moment, He Jikyang, who helped Azu sell out his stocks, returns home. Met my ex-wife. He finally understands. Everything is in the exchange of Azu's plan. Missing chip is in Azu's body. Including Azu's death is within the plan. If Azu only made the recording public. So, those who are far away overseas will definitely not be implicated. So he followed Lau Ching-Wan, hearing together under duress. Then he hacked into the police system. He Jikyang, who found that even his wife could be arrested. So I decided to bring him in. Azu clearly knows. Just based on the evidence I collected. Not enough to cause the same death. So he took a risk. It's another children's book that kills itself. So the children's book is completely chirping. And according to the previous positioning, soon caught the killer who buried the book. Toadshu and other people were arrested and brought to justice. After being released from prison, Lau Ching-Wan came to a nursing home, as a fund manager here. Then he met He Jikyang, who was also here. Azu died with some Alzheimer's mother. Lau Ching-Wan and He Jikyang took care of it together. Here's the end of Eavesdropping 2. The film also achieved earth-shattering wins that year. The whole movie can be said to be Joe's conspiracy. It's enjoyable and thought-provoking. After 3 years, Eavesdropping 3 makes a strong comeback. Compared to the previous two, the film uses a more enhanced, large lineup and more complex storyline. Not much to say. Let's go to it. The story begins with Ding Quan. So-called Ding is the guide Ding. In 1972, the Hong Kong government wanted to develop the new territories, but it was strongly opposed by the local people. They believed that the land was left to them by their ancestors. Selling the land cannot be explained to the ancestors. To ease the conflict, Hong Kong government has issued a mini-story policy. Adult men can apply to the government. The government applied to build a 700-foot building. That is, a house of about 80 square meters. This is Ding Quan. That time, more than 20 newly built townships have ended a Lu Taigong's person in charge. He negotiates with the government on behalf of the village. Exchanged about 200,000 rights with the government. But there is less land in the new territories. The remaining land is not enough for the villagers of In. Therefore, Lu Taigong used the remaining 100,000 gold rights in his hands, in exchange for the construction rights of multiple buildings from the government. And it's against that backdrop that the film unfolds. Land, Taigong found an investor from the United States, Mr. Wen. Want to work with them. Buy the remaining D rights at a low price. Buy the building for huge profits. Acquiring office rights is not easy. The Lu family is not of the same mind. Among them, Lu had another road with a lot of Ding Quan forever, but refused to cooperate with Lu Taigong. He and Si Tuguan, who represents the 4 major real estate developers, walk very close. The 4 major real estate developers have also stockpiled a lot of land in the New World. But if the government agrees to build a building in Lu Taigong, 4 major real estate land in the hands of merchants will become a penny. Not worth it. And the land in Lu Yongning's hands. It is an important part of the first phase of the building. Therefore, does Mr. Wen invest? It depends on whether Lu forever bows his head. At this time, Lu Taigong gave Mr. Wen, who was hesitating, took a peace of mind. Doing things here is about people. Lu Taigong decided to kill Lu forever, to prevent things from leaking out. The brothers drew lots. Decide who will commit the murder. Koro permanent but volunteered to go to Shanghai Road forever. Actually, he and Lu Taigong's daughter, third miss, are lovers. Relationship. It's just that Lu Taigong has always disagreed with the marriage between the two. Maybe he was trying to prove himself. Fantasy after this. Lu Taigong agreed to their marriage. In the end, Luo Yang crashed his car into the road forever. 5 years in prison for dangerous driving. And listen to the story of Feng Yin 3 also kicked off. Luo Yangchu, who met for the first time 5 years later. See the old brothers, all the scenery is infinite. And he only had the 1 million he got from murdering. And it gets worse. He saw that the third lady had already became Mr. Wen's fiancé, but Taigong never wanted to. Third lady married him. After that, he was with Lu Jinqiang, Lu Yongquan, Lu Jianbo. It was found in the contact of the 4 brothers of Lu Yongfu. Several people are no longer as brotherly as they used to be. I just want to get rid of myself with a little money. This also makes Luo Yang determined to take revenge on these people. He's in jail, convincing computer genius Azu to join the project. After being released from prison, with the help of Sichu Guam, on the phones of the 4 brothers. Computer cameras are installed in offices and other places. Here is a hidden plot. Luo Yang should have been persuaded to come out of prison to gather evidence of the 4 brothers' crimes. As for who ordered it, and why did Sichu Guan help him? We'll get to that. As the eavesdropping deepens, Luo Yang also slowly discovered the conspiracy of the 4 brothers. Mr. Wen and Lu Taigong planned to let Lu China Group listing. But in order to monopolize power, he didn't invest in the stock at all. A plan to share with the 4 brothers and the villagers. Sensing this, the 4 brothers decided to start anew. They used drugs to control the aroma. Wanton enemy generals acquired military power, and decided to establish a quadrilateral group. Seoul Building Construction Project. Listing requires government approval. Here we can also see, Lu Jinqiang is more intelligent than the other 3. He had anticipated this day. So I contacted government director privately. Approval officer. Prepare to use huge bribes to open up a network for yourself. It's also shown here. Lu Jinqiang is the only one of the 4 brothers. One that is the networkinships he has painstakingly cultivated for many years. Handed over to Luo Yangju. It's just that what he doesn't know is, Luo Yang had no intention of hanging out with them in the first place. Together? From then on, the situation of partial pretense became a 2-male hegemony. Originally, as long as the group went public smoothly and successfully dismantled the quartet. I didn't expect. I wasn't in Wenxian a few years ago. The 4 major real estate groups that have won good deals in the hands of producers, but sitting on guard in the bush at this time, making it difficult to go public by the group. This time, Sichu Guang found Mr. Wen again. Explained the purpose of the 4 major real estate developers. Original, they just want to use the garbage land they have. Change the land in the hands of the passing group. Make a profit from it. Here we can also see the difference between Mr. Wen and Lu Taigong. Just as Mr. Wen and the third lady decided to land. When working together, Lu Taigong refused to agree. He is unwilling to give up his valuable land. Change to garbage land. Years ago, Lu Taigong once represented the villagers, preventing the 4 major real estate developers from entering the new territories. For major real estate, therefore, someone ran over and killed Lu Taigong's wife. That is, the mother of the third lady. Here is also a deep portrayal of the third lady's character. In the new territories, if Taigong does not agree to the sale of which land, then this rental deal must be impossible. Lu Taigong became a party, a huge piece in front of Mr. Wen and Third Miss Stone, for the smooth listing of the group. Third Miss, when Lu Taigong fell ill, stopped Mr. Wen from giving him medicine. Finally, Mr. Lu fell ill and died. Now the land group. It became the talk of the third lady and Mr. Wen. The monitoring of the 4 brothers was also involved. And enough evidence. 4 brothers are ready to join the villagers. When Gu established the 4 square group, Azu put their plan. Sent to the mobile phones of the villagers. Plan for the establishment of the quartet group fell through. At this moment, another video that Azu accidentally discovered. Sent to their phone. It turned out that Azu found Lu Jianbo and Lu Yongfu's wife are leisurely. This video directly made Lu Yongfu lose his mind. Lu Jianbo successfully led the riverbank under his bricks. Then Lu Yongquan was arrested for drug trafficking. I'm sure everyone must have guessed it when they saw this. Knowledge in prison. Luo Yang saved Mr. Wen and Third Miss. They had long planned to kick the 4 brothers out, and Sichu Guang, in exchange for the land in the hands of the passing group. This helped Luo Yang and Azu established a monitoring network. Video here. The passing group seems to have won a big victory, but Lu Jinqiang suddenly appeared at this time. The camera he installed at the Palazzo della Lucia. The third lady was photographed. Scene of Mr. Wen stopping the drug from being administered to the palace. This is blatant murder. The film once again presents a confrontation between the 2 sides. Start here. Movie from Mall War. It turned into a hand-to-hand fight between the 2 sides to erase the evidence. Finally, passing by the group, only Azu survived. And only Jin Kong survived the Sifang group. He slumped on the ground, weeping tears of regret. In fact, in the end it is not difficult to see. Everything in the film was set up by Mr. Wen. He first cooperated with Lu Taigong to get the land. Finally, the four brothers were eliminated and the group was listed. His vision is obviously higher than everything in the field. Human. But there are the characters in the center. We have to say, destroying. Saving him is inhumane. He also explained in the play. He and the four brothers all grew up with Lu Yongyang. Among them, Deer will always have the best relationship with Uncle Lu Yang. But he actually wanted to make Lu Taigong take a high look at yourself. This unwinnable bet. Without hesitation, he killed Lu forever. Night of the crime. The road is always holding wine. Wait for the good brother to come and drink together. I didn't expect a deadly car accident to come. Afterwards, he tried to please the third lady and Lu Taigong. In prison, he agreed to a plan to get rid of the four brothers. You know, at that time, he did not understand the attitude of the four brothers towards him. And after getting out of prison, Jin always wanted to support Luo Yang to rise to the top. But he didn't hesitate at all for third miss. This is for women. It's okay to disregard brotherhood. Even dehumanizing behavior. It's really hard to accept. Secondly, the third lady. He knew that it would be impossible for him and Luo Yang, but for profit. Or use him again and again. After Lu Yang was released from prison, the third lady immediately sent a pair of glasses over. The two couldn't help hugging each other. I saw this at first. I almost thought everything the third lady did was forced to do. Until this next detail. When Luo Yang was about to kiss, the third lady stopped him immediately. We can also see from the expression of the triangle section. He is against the current Luo Yang gold. There was even some disgust. Because he still wants to. I want to be with Mr. Wen. With people like Mr. Wen. And improve his horizons. Ban his pattern. He can also smoothly fly up the branches and become a phoenix. This point was taken from him in order to make way, go public through the group. He did not hesitate to murder his biological father Lu Taigong. You can see, Lu Taigong offended the four brothers and the public on a blind date. On the one hand, it's for profit. On the other hand, it is also to make the third lady inherit their influence in the new territories. As long as the four brothers live 100 years later, it is difficult to guarantee that the third lady will not be able to stay in the field. A father can do so much for his daughter. This daughter, what did you do for your elderly father? At film, even if third murder Lu Tai, he is terminally ill and will not live for 2 months. And his daughter, the third lady, is unwilling for a mere 2 months. This is another inhumane character. In fact, the director finally arranged it. Zhu and Jinpeng survived. It's not for nothing. Not hard to find. These two are in the film. The only character that still has humanity. Listen to the trilogy about money and humanity. It put on a great show for us. There are still some minor flaws in the film, but it can still be regarded as more than 10 years. Best Hong Kong drama. It is said that the final installment of the series, Eavesdropping on Fengyan Temple, it is being planned. Let's look forward to it together.